Hi, hello, mabuhay. This is Chris Lina, and welcome to GeekClicks. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you're watching this live, please like the page and click on the or click on the share button. Share it to other groups that are relevant, of course, not the ones that aren't relevant, or that the geeking out is not relevant, of course. But yeah, share the stream. If you're watching this live. Please use the hashtag GeekClicksLive. And if you're going to watch this on replay, hashtag GeekClicksReplay. Yeah. And we're live on Facebook again. And before we start the show, I'd like to thank our sponsors for our episodes. So these people have been very, very supportive of our show. So first, thank you to the three musketeers, or the trinity of Philippine toy photography. That's Perry Chua, that's Ryan Gomez, and also Rafi Panganiban. So Power P, Kinesthetic, and also photography. So these three have been very, very helpful in sourcing out the talents, posting pictures, and keeping the community a very safe place for us to, I don't know, just to share our work. Shout out to the admins, Share, Nell, all the other admins of the Philippine Toy Photography Club. Thank you so much. Thank you to the sponsors who have been making the or sending us the prizes. Geoff Villaruz, or also known as Prince Draco on Instagram. So he's been sending us a lot of prizes. So we're gonna give out one more prize tomorrow. So stay tuned because we have a special episode with Gabo Vitales. He's also going to be sharing his story on how he started in toy photography. Also, he's going to be sharing a figure with us. So stay tuned. We're going to send you, or you're going to get a chance to win a prize tomorrow night. Also, Carlos Balandra. He sent us a Mythic Legions, which we're gonna raffle off this month of June. So stay tuned. And it's official. We're now a partner of Henry's Cameras Philippines. So we're gonna put on the logo right over here. There, there you. It's hard to put it. There. It's there. Anyway, Henry's Cameras is gonna is partnering up with the Philippine Toy Photography Club and also GeekClick. So exciting prizes await you guys. There's going to be a competition, two categories. I'm announcing it right now so you guys can prepare. One is tangible, all tangible things, and the other is the other can you can use Photoshop with, but up to 50%. So we're still finalizing the mechanics, but you guys know the drill. We've been having these competitions every now and then. So yeah, two categories for the Philippine Toy Photography Club, or anyone can join. Any watcher of the Geek Clicks of the show Geek Clicks can join the competition now. You've also, thanks to Hobby Toys Laguna and sourcing LA Collectibles for sponsoring some prizes last time, and also we're going to be sharing that tomorrow as well. or in the following episodes. Thank you so much. And yes, Gabo, who's gonna be our guest tomorrow, is present right now. So thank you so much for watching. Again, like the stream and share the page. Also, last but not the least, we're gonna use the support local tomorrow night because it's gonna be a jam pack session tonight, or today rather. Our episode is purely English because our guy isn't Filipino, although his last name could sound Filipino to most of us. He's known as the Figure Mania Show, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, Mr. Harold Ruiz. Hey, Harold.
What's up, guys? What's going on? Boom shakalaka. What's going on, everybody?
Good morning. So yeah,
Morning,
we've been
morning.
chatting, but how's well, it's crazy in the we've chatted about Taiwan and how crazy it is right now. But how are you
Yes, it
despite what's
is.
going on?
I'm feeling great. My family and I, we're safe and things, and we're all healthy and things. But we just have to abide by the rules because, like, from one day to like just this week alone, it went from zero to stage 3 in a matter in like 3 days. You know what I mean? So like, it's been crazy, and like everybody's been scrambling and stuff, and I've had to make some big adjustments. Like my wife and I, we had to make some big adjustments because like we run our own school,
Mhm,
part time. I do work full time as a teacher in a public school, and then after that, I have my own school where I have like over 100 students and stuff like and things, and we interact, we do a lot of conversation stuff. So that's all had to change in the matter of a week. You know what I mean? So, but we've been doing okay. I mean, we did some online classes. I did some
mhm.
online story time and things, and kids are
Nice.
okay. So we're gonna be fine. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, at least, right?
Mhm.
Despite what's going on, well, we find ways to be okay. And you can, well, since you're okay, we're happy to see
Mm.
your shots, really.
Thank you,
Since
thank
you're
you.
able to. And our friends are watching. Gabo says hi, Harold. He's
What's
gonna
going
be,
on, Gabo? What's going on, buddy?
yeah, he's gonna join us tomorrow night as well. Jordan says hi, and
Jordan, how
Chef
you
Gabo
doing?
loves your
Thank you, Gabo.
monster shots. Yeah. And
Thank
so
you, thank you.
anyway, I'm gonna start off with the very first question. What's the story
Sure.
behind the Figure Mania show? You've told me about the story, but we want to hear it live tonight. Er,
Okay. Well, basically, I mean, I've been in Taiwan since 2008. Okay, so that's like 13 years, I think. I don't know. I'm bad at math.
Yep.
But anyways, like being here in Taiwan, like I coming to because I came from Canada.
Mhm.
And I left everything behind. You know what I mean? Like my whole collection, my Marvels, my DCs, and all that. I didn't have a big Godzilla collection in Canada because in Canada there's no Godzilla collections. At least at the time when I was there, when I lived there. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But then
Mhm.
coming here, you know what I mean? Oh my goodness, like yeah, I can get Godzilla collectibles. But anyways, how Figure Mania show happened. A friend, uh, uh, a friend of mine, he was a big cosplayer. He does his own cosplay. He makes his own beautiful costumes and stuff like that. Like he makes this Iron Man costume. It looks awesome. So then, I got to know him and things, and like we became friends. And like, hey, how about we start a YouTube show and stuff like that. We can go around Taiwan. We can talk to other collectors and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like if you go back to my archives, that the first and second
Mhm.
show he's there, and then after that he's completely gone because he found a girlfriend and stuff. He moved up to Taipei. I'm in Tainan, which is the south part of Taiwan, and then like I was saying, okay, buddy, you know what I mean? It's fine. You know what I mean? Go do what you want to do. You know what I mean? So like, I kind of got stuck with Figure Mania show. You know what I mean? Like if it was just me personally, I wouldn't have picked Figure Mania show for the name. You know what I mean? But I was left with it. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm just gonna go with it. And like you know, but as I kept going, I was like, like my original intention was to be more like you, like go to other collectors' houses, document their collection and stuff like that, and show everybody. But it was becoming exhausting, and you know what I mean. And like I didn't want to burden my wife with that, myself with that either, and stuff like that. And so like I kind of left it at the wayside, and You know what I mean? Like I do toy reviews now and then, but I only do the stuff that I want for myself. Like I don't want to review everything that's available, you know what I mean? Just for the sake of maintaining a show, you know what I mean? Like if I do that, like I'm just not gonna have any income, you know what I mean? I probably won't even have a wife, you know? So that's how that happened, you know what I mean? And then eventually it evolved into toy photography, you know what I mean? So like this is a hobby, like you know what I mean? So like I do YouTube whenever I feel like it or whenever I can, you know what I mean? So I don't take it seriously at all. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Nice. So technically,
yeah.
well, the Figure Mania show was supposed to be like Geek Clicks. I mean, this show, right? And I'm
Pretty
glad.
much, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Mm,
And but you
yeah.
also have been doing your own show, which we're gonna talk about later. We're gonna talk
Hmm.
about the Titan Masters as well. But
Yes.
yeah, we're happy to hear the story behind the Figure Mania show. Um, okay,
Mm.
Tops says hello everyone. Hi, hello Harold.
What's
Um,
going on, Tops?
so Deck is present. The go-to guy when it comes to Godzilla photography, says Perry Chua.
Thank you,
Power
brother.
B.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, we're gonna ask you a lot more, but again, guys, you know the drill. If you want to ask Harold, well, he will tell you if he can answer that. Post them on the comment
Sure.
section. Just to let us know. Now, we're gonna start with the shooting and collecting. Now, you
Hmm.
have great shots, but it had to start somewhere. When did you start shooting,
Yes.
and when did you start collecting in general? Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, so first start with collecting. Like again, like I came from Canada, I left everything behind and things, and like
Mm-hmm.
and then I just started over, and then like here in Taiwan, like Godzilla collectibles are more available than in Canada. So, what really like I've always been a Godzilla fan, you know what I mean, and but like in Canada, there just wasn't anything, you know. And then when 2014, the first teaser to the 2014 movie came around, I got to see that teaser, that leaked teaser online, and that
Mm-hmm.
ignited the Godzilla back in me. You know what I mean? So then I was like, oh man, I got to get the, you know what I mean? Like I got to, I want to. It fueled my passion for Godzilla again. But prior to that, I mean, SH
Mhm.
Monster Arts did release their very first Godzilla back in 2013, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my God, look at that Godzilla. Like it looks just like a movie accurate Godzilla. And my
Mhm.
wife no, I think it was in 2010. I don't remember. Anyways, but my
Mhm.
wife gave me that. My then girlfriend, my wife now, she gave me that for Christmas. So that was my very first SH Monster Arts, and like it was my only Godzilla figure for a long time. So like there's a whole bunch of
Mhm.
stuff that came after it that I cut just totally went under the radar. Like I wasn't paying
Mhm.
attention to it and stuff. And then during the 2014 thing,
Mhm.
I decided to search, hey, are there any more Godzilla fans out there, right? Because like
Mhm.
I wasn't really actively looking for it, and so then
Okay.
I came across John Ruffing from mykaiju.com, and I
Mhm.
was like, oh my God. So like he does these amazing uh toy photography of Godzilla. He's using X plus figures.
Uh-huh.
So I became, that sparked my interest in starting my own toy photography. You know what I mean? So I studied his shots vigorously, and then like I wanted to get into it myself, but I had no idea how. So
Mhm.
like I knew that I needed a DSLR camera, didn't have it, and
Mhm.
a friend of mine who I was working with, he was like I was asking her, hey, do you know anybody selling a DSLR camera? He goes, oh, yeah, I have a DSLR camera. It's a Nikon D90. Do you want it? Sure, I'll take it. Not knowing anything, I just knew it was a DSLR camera. I'm taking it,
Okay.
and with a 50 millimeter lens and things. All right, and that's how I started, and
Mhm.
but while I got that, I came across like I started doing researching toy photography, and
Mhm.
like there was a lot of guys doing toy photography. I came across the ACBA and all that. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I mean, man, these guys are awesome, right? But like no one was really doing Godzilla like kaiju's and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like I only saw John Ruffing. I wanted to be John Ruffing, but like on a smaller scale, like the SH
Mhm.
Monster Art scale and things, right? So, and and I took a course online from it's called I don't know if it's still active or not, but it was called LearnToyPhotography.com. So
Mm.
I signed up to that course, and
Mm.
I went through that course. I learned everything I did about, and that's where I learned about lighting. I learned about composition and things. So then all of a sudden I had to, it was time for me to put into practice. And then if you look at my very first couple shots, I mean, comparatively now, I mean, they're horrible, you know what I mean? But that was my beginning, and
Yep.
yeah, there you go. So
There we go.
that's when it
Yep.
started to peak, you know what I mean? So like yeah. See, I was just first into collecting at first. There, that
Mm.
Optimus Prime, like that was like one of my
Mm.
first attempts at toy photography. Like I had no idea, no idea about depth or anything.
Ah,
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so I mean, I still have that figure, but like that was like those that's when I was like dipping my toe into the water, so to speak.
nice.
So
But we're
yeah,
glad that we have this much of Godzilla figures or shots from you. We're very
yeah,
happy. Is this Chica, by the way?
yes. That's Chica. That's the
That,
princess.
that's the
Yes.
princess, your first dog. We were
My first dog. Yes.
for the people who are watching, we were talking backstage before the show, and yeah, Harold is also a dog lover. So, and
Yeah.
let me share one of the shots that is actually one of our favorites. Personally, this is one of my favorites. Let's talk
Hmm.
about this one. What came into your
Ah,
mind? Why? What? Actually, we're gonna go into your creative process now
sure.
through
Hmm.
this shot. But yeah, tell us what came into your mind. Why did you take the shot, or what came about the idea of taking the shot?
Okay. Well, I mean, I've always loved Godzilla movies, and
Uh,
like one of my number one rule when I approach a shot of Godzilla is to keep everything as real as I possibly can. Keep it
mm,
all tangible. Okay. So then, like when I'm watching a movie, a Godzilla movie, like I pay close attention to the composition. I pay close attention to the lighting, how the camera is angling at Godzilla and things.
mm,
And then I tried, and I studied that image for a long time. And I was like, how can I make this into a tangible shot? You know, and then prior to that, like I bought these cube lights from Ulanzi, and these
mm,
Ulanzi cube lights, they're waterproof up to 30 meters in depth. And I've been wanting to do before this shot, I was wanting to do an underwater Godzilla shot, but I wanted it to look as real as I possibly could. So I wanted to use real water. You know what I mean?
mm,
So how would that look in real water? And like I went around the ACBA group, and I was looking at other people doing underwater shots, and like they're
mm,
beautiful, but they didn't look convincing enough, like to, you know what I mean? I still wanted that murky water look and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So how to get that? You know what I mean? Like there was another toy photographer. I forget him his right now. He did this Jaws,
mm,
shot of Jaws, and like how it's coming up and getting
mm.
the person in the boat,
Yep.
and he did that, and I studied that shot, but he used Gatorade to make the water look murky. But it was like if you pull back on that shot, it's in a jar. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, well, a Godzilla figure is much too big for a jar. So what's the next thing? Oh, there's an aquarium. And then there was another toy photographer. I think it's Jax Navarro. I don't know if it's him or not. I
Mm,
can't remember. He did an underwater shot and it looked great, but he uses a lot of Photoshop and things, you know what I mean, in his shots,
mm,
you know what I mean? So I was like, it looked great, but I want to stay away from that. That's not my style, you know what I mean? So
mm.
then and then like I remember one day I was helping my wife in the kitchen do the rice. You know what I mean? So then, like, when
Okay.
she goes, "Oh, clean the rice," okay. So then, I put the rice in, and then you have to clean the rice with water and stuff. And then as I'm cleaned the rice, the water got all murky. I was like, oh, ding, light bulb, right? So then I'll get the aquarium, and then I'll put a little bit of rice to cloudy up the water, right? And that's what I did. And then with
Nice.
this, with the cutout, I mean,
Mm,
I do this a lot. I mean, I still do it now. Like I freeze frame a certain scene, and
mm,
then I I print it out on matte paper. It has to be on matte, like thick
mm,
paper. Cut it out, and then I use that. And then like if you see like the BTS in that video, like the way I'm using the light, I'm using a laser pen to light up his mouth. So everything, and like it's multi-layered.
ah,
Like I first use the laser pen on the mouth, then I use it on the eye, then I use it on the other eye, and then I put it
oh.
all together. I mean, in Photoshop. So that's the only time I get to use Photoshop, is like
Mm,
at, putting all these elements together. But the shot
mm.
is 100% real and things. So, and that's how it
Yes.
came to that. And I was like, wow. And like from this shot, like I felt myself as an artist, like greatly elevated, greatly improved. You know what I mean? So, and I love these underwater shots, and like they're one of my favorites. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Eh,
you see the rice there at the bottom.
so
But I'm
that's
still
what it
using
is.
my TV in the back. Yeah. So I'm still using my TV in the back just to give that color.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nice,
And
nice.
also there, if
Mm.
you see like the bubbles on the screen, I
Yeah.
actually use like a soap and water with a little bit with a paper towel or
Ah,
a toilet paper, and I dab it on the window,
on the window.
and
Yeah.
then like, yeah, on the window, and then it leaves those little and it looks like bubbles, you know what I mean, bubbling up and things. So yeah,
Nice.
that's how I did
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing. Well,
yeah, yeah.
I feel what you mean about being elevated as an artist when you do a certain
Yes,
stuff like this. Well,
yes.
the feeling is kind of I don't know, liberating,
It's like a
if I
video
may
game. Like
say.
you one up, like you have like a special armor.
Yeah.
Like what up? You know what I mean? It's
Level
that
up.
feeling. So yeah, you're
True.
leveling up. Yeah.
Jordan says, I'm so thrilled and excited all of a sudden seeing Harold and his Super Godzilla collection,
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
which we'll go through
Yeah.
in a bit. Your collection,
All
which
right.
some of them are in front of you. Jem
Yes.
Baroidan is a big fan of Godzilla photos, especially the underwater, this one. um,
Mm,
Superb toy photography.
thank
Mark
you.
Steven
Thank you.
Santos, also a
What's
member
going
of
on,
the
Mark?
ACBA. He's
Yes.
also a fan.
Yeah.
Jem,
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
hi Harold, having a consistent subject in your shots, which is Godzilla, how do you keep
Hmm.
how do you keep things fresh and still keep bringing in something when you take your photos?
Good question. Very good question. I mean, you have to be passionate, like on what you do. You know what I mean? Like for me, I mean, I
Mm,
have like a ton of ideas in my mind right now, but I just don't get around to all of them. You know what I mean? And like,
mm,
there's like 65 plus years worth of Godzilla movies, and I go through I go through some Godzilla movies all the time. Like whenever like I feel like I hit like a creative block, I
mm,
go back to some of those movies. Like I look at my figures. Okay, so which figure I want to do? So let's say I want to do a Showa Godzilla. So I go look at a Showa movie or art books. I got a ton of art books. I got art books galore, and I go through those art books. Like they're my
mm,
archives. You know what I mean? So art books, everything Godzilla related, like even picture books and stuff. You know what I mean? There's and on you did when you were interviewing Alan, he touched
mm,
upon this. He has Pinterest. I use Pinterest too. We have account that's amalgamated. You know what I mean? So he
mm,
has his little subdirectory, and I do too, like monsters and stuff like that. So I just
mm,
go through all those, and then like I just go through the all those Godzilla pictures, and I just pick which one that like which one do I feel like doing today? And then
mm.
like again, I study, okay, how can I make this tangible and stuff? Or if I like there are shots right now that are in my mind, but I'm not ready to do them yet because I don't have the appropriate um parts for it. You know what I mean? Oh, geez, sorry. Okay, what do you mean? This? Okay, it's my wife. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
so I put those on the back burner for later. You know what I mean? So like
Mm.
one thing that I've learned is just to be patient. You know what I mean? Just get around it. Don't you know what I mean? Don't rush things. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
used to kind of rush things and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But don't rush things. Just do the best job you can. You know what I mean? And like it'll come. You know what I mean? Just do it. You know?
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
actually, it touched me immediately because of the patience of posting it immediately. There's that
yeah.
concept, at least in my mind, that I need to post this. I before the idea comes out of my mind. So
Yes.
that's actually, well, something that I'll keep. I know that I'll
Hmm.
keep now.
Yeah. And like
Jin,
getting
yep.
back to that, I mean, there are people that end up doing the shot that I was thinking of doing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's because they've been studying my shots. Oh, I think Harold is gonna do this. I was like, okay, fine. So I'll just do it at a later date. But the good thing about that is that
Uh-huh.
I break down what he did, and then I say, okay, see, this is what I can do, and this is what I can do to make it look. You know what I mean? And
Ah,
then when I'm ready to post it, bang, you know what I mean? And like I
ah,
don't worry about I don't worry about trying to be the first out of the gate anymore. You know what I mean?
mm.
Just do
Ah,
like I
okay.
got 12,000 followers already. You know what I mean? So people, I've got my following of people that follow me for the quality of work that I do. You know what I mean? So it's not a race for me anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, so it shouldn't be a race for anybody. You know what I mean? Just do the best you can and be patient. You know what I mean? Like if you take the approach from like a martial artist, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So martial arts takes time. It takes a lot of practice perfecting and things like that. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot of patience. You know what I mean? So
Takes a lot of
this is
patience.
no different. This is an art just like it. You know what I mean? Just like
Cool.
with with your your camera and your figures and stuff like that. But the biggest the biggest I don't want to say it's not a weapon, but your biggest asset in
Mm.
your photography really for me is your imagination. You know what I mean? So and your ability to execute that imagination and bring it to life. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. That's the way I approach my shots. You know what I mean? And what I've been doing here. So yeah,
That's nice. Well,
yeah,
so the biggest weapon or the biggest arsenal, remember
hmm,
everyone, is your imagination. So we'll
yeah.
keep
It's
that.
not so much the camera. You know what I mean?
Not
Because
so
I
much.
mean,
Yeah.
if your camera breaks, you can get another one and things, and you know what I mean. But it's your ability to execute that
Mm.
imagination and stuff like that. When you put everything together, your composition, your lighting, and stuff like that. And your
Nice.
creativity. You know what I mean? Your imagination is part of your creativity. That's your biggest asset. You know what I mean? So like you could have the most expensive camera, but like if you take crap shots, they're crap shots. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? It doesn't
Mhm.
the quality, the value, the price value of the camera
The
really
price
doesn't
value.
come into play. So yeah,
Carlo
yeah,
Sarah says, excellent advice. And we're
yeah.
just 27 minutes past the start time. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Hmm.
it's already gold that we're getting right here. But let's
Thank
say
you,
hi to Janaski. He's one of your fans as well.
thank you, sir.
Told,
Thank you.
told you have a lot of fans here in our group. Very
Yeah,
awesome from JM.
thank you,
Amazing photo. Maki's not
thank
a
you.
toy photographer, but a fan of geek stuff. Thank you so much.
Oh, I see.
Amazing.
That's good.
Uh,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Super BTS. There's a question from Perry Chua. Don't know if it
Hmm.
was asked already, but aside from Godzilla, do you collect other toys?
I do. I mean, I love. I've always loved Transformers when I was a kid. I had a big
Mm,
Transformers collection back in Canada. I love Batman. I love Superman and all that. You know what I mean?
mm.
So like right now upstairs, I have a very small collection of Marvel
Uh,
Legends. Like I'm a big Hulk fan.
ah,
Superman, Batman. Wrestling. I even like wrestling too. Like I used to be a big into wrestling back in the day. The days of Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and all that. I have those figures, but again, like I haven't really shot those figures yet because I don't have a ring. I got Hulk Hogan, I got Ultimate Warrior, I got Roddy Piper, I got Mr. T. You know what I
Oh,
mean? But I need a ring. You know what I
is
mean?
that the
So
reason
like,
why there's Mania in Figure Mania show? Because of Hulk?
you know what? That's good too. You know what I mean? Because like figure mania, yeah. Like it came from that Hulkamania, figure mania. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So like, because I'm a long time Hulkamania fan. You know what I mean? So
okay.
I was like, oh yeah, let's, you know what I mean?
Nice.
And I wanted something catchy. You know what I mean? And you got to admit, it does sound catchy. You know what I mean? Figure mania show. You know what I mean? So yeah. So
Nice.
I'm happy the way it's evolved. Yeah. Yeah.
And Jem also
You're welcome,
says,
Jem. You're
great
welcome.
advice. Very, very
Yes.
nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, Figure Mania show is on the comment section. You can just click on it if you want to see more of Harold shots. I know that most of you already follow Harold.
Hmm.
We have a question from Mark Steven. Are you still comfortable shooting photos other than Godzilla? That's a good question. I think.
I'm more comfortable now than before. Like
Mhm.
what really made me aware of my comfort zone was when I participated in the first Photo Combat 3, the
Mm,
ACBA Photo Combat Challenge. That was a couple of years ago already, and
mm,
I realized quickly is like, because at that time I was just doing just solidly just all Godzilla shots, kaiju's and
mhm.
stuff like that, right? But the themes that they're presenting, okay, this is the theme, go do that. You know what I mean? It's like, God, how can you do that with Godzilla? You can't. You know what I mean? Because Godzilla is very specific. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And I I quickly learned that yeah, I need to like for me to grow as a toy photographer, I need to expand my horizon. I need to
uh-huh. Oh yeah.
so but thankfully, I mean, I have been doing that. I feel more comfortable now, but I still don't feel I'm ready for it to
Mhm.
do more. Like I've
Ah,
done
okay.
I've done more. Like I did a Superman, I did a Batman one,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? But like I'm slow at doing, like I see like guys like Akira Joe. Akira Joe's
Mm.
amazing. Like I look at his Batman shots and his superhero shots, and I always tell him, dude, you're amazing. Like, do you mind if I try and try and recreate this myself? He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. You know what I mean? So like, um, but yeah, like see, like something like that. You know what I mean? So like, I'm slowly getting into more superhero stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, but like when it comes to like kaiju's, like monsters, Godzilla, I know what to do right away. But like with superheroes and
Mm.
transformers and robots and stuff like that, it's a different approach. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of forced to like grind the gears inside my mind a little bit more. You know what I mean? How do I do this and that? You know what I mean? So I look at a lot of other people for
Mm.
inspiration, like
Nice.
Akira Joe, like even Trevor Williams, 1/6 shooter. He does these amazing shots and stuff, and I'm like, oh man. Like I even talk to him sometimes. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like what's, you know what I mean? And like he's very helpful. And even Simon
Nice.
Hill, Plastic Snaps. He's like one of my mentors and things.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got a lot of mentors. You know what I mean? But like yeah.
Cool.
So like even Akira Joe and Patrick, they're they mentor
Uh-huh.
me sometimes too. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
it's good that you're open to these things. It's really inspiring to hear, especially from coming from
Mhm.
me as an amateur, or actually, I would say a beginner, getting
Mhm.
into photography, and especially into your specialty,
Mhm.
Titan photography or Godzilla or technically kaiju, right? We're gonna
Exactly.
go
Yeah.
more into that, but let's just
Mhm.
read Carlo Serra's comment. Even the sharpest knife in the hands of a person without knowledge to use it will make it dull. Nice.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you mentioned earlier in Hulkamania as well
Mhm.
from Terry Chua. Also a
That's right,
fan.
brother. What you gonna do, brother? I met that guy. You know what I mean? I met Hulk Hogan in real life. He was awesome.
Wow,
Yeah.
that would have been ecstatic. I imagine. He's a huge
Oh man.
Superman fan, as you
Yeah.
can see in
Thank
his
you. Thank
profile
you.
photo. uh, uh,
Yes.
Rafi says hi. A big fan of your Titan photos.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah.
Learning the basics, technical skills add a superb imagination. In the superb imagination, then you got one awesome photographer. He coined this term, photographer, toy
Ah.
photographer, right? Harold is a
Yes.
good example. So, Yep.
Thank you.
W-
Thank you. Thank
So
you. Thank
Perry's
you.
one of our or one of the people that we look up to when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
lighting. He's one of the
Mm-hmm.
lighting what what the one of the biggest persons when asking about lighting. He's a geek
Mm-hmm.
about that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, mention Carlos Era mentioned. So what you gonna do, brother? Showing with this 20-inch pythons. There you go.
It's
A lot of
24 inches.
24
Yeah.
inches. Right.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan.
No,
Yeah.
let's talk about actually we have a phone in question from
Okay.
someone
Mm-hmm.
actually, and he's already on backstage. We have Alan Parma on the line. Surprise.
Look at this guy.
499, 500. Hey guys. You
What's
just
going
caught me in
on,
the middle
Alan?
of
What's
my
going on,
workout.
brother?
Hey,
Oh,
Harold.
really?
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Good
So,
Good,
morning.
good, brother.
Yep.
you guys have been
Yeah.
talking about Godzilla, blah, 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 toy photography. What I really want to know is, do you even lift, bro? How much do you lift?
Well, okay. I'll be honest with you. I mean, since I started my own school and stuff like that, like I've been busy. Like I used to like at the time I met Alan, I was going to the gym regularly and things. You know what I mean? And but I've lost size a little. You know what I mean? Because like I haven't gone back to the gym and things because I've been just so busy and stuff. And like in the times that I do have time, it's like like I don't know, like it's a mental block for me, you know what I mean, that I got to get back into, you know what I mean. But like I was in the gym regularly and things like there. Alan, do you have that picture of like when we first met,
I
how
know.
big I
Yeah,
was
I was going to
and
talk
things?
I'm
about that.
looking
Yeah.
for it right
So
now.
I mean, I still. Oh, okay. I mean, I am still, pretty. I still got good size. Yeah, he's there. Yeah. So my wife wants to say hello to you, Alan.
Hey, hello. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, that thing is a king.
Hi. Good. How are
Yeah.
you? We, oh yeah, she's big now. she's
Yeah, she's
taller.
good. Yeah.
She's taller than
He's
her
taller.
mom.
Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I just gotta. I know I gotta get. My wife keeps beating the shit out of me over it. Oh, you always say that you're gonna get back into working out. You gotta do that. I go. I know, but
Watch out, man. Watch
yeah.
out.
So,
I'm gonna catch up.
yeah, you still got
Yeah.
a lot to catch up, Alan. You still got a lot to catch
Yeah.
up. Okay.
That picture that Harold is talking about, like, because Harold was so nice, taking us around Taiwan, looking for toys, even with my family. And we were in the subway and we saw this huge billboard of Avengers Infinity War, I think. And he said, "Oh, we got to take a
Yeah, it
picture."
was.
So we took a
Yeah,
picture, and then I looked at it, and Harold was really like showing his guns, and like,
I was really
man,
jacked. Yeah.
we, we took a picture, and this guy with me, he looks like a superhero. He's built like the Hulk, and I'm built like Plastic Man. So, what the hell? What the hell is this picture? Yeah, so I just wanted
Yeah.
to, drop in and just, disrupt your whole
Thank you,
interview
brother.
and
It's good
just
to
say
see you
hi.
again. Yeah. So Alan is going to be on Titan Masters next weekend. So if you guys can come in for that, we're going to have a discussion with him and stuff with the other masters and stuff. So Alan, I can't wait to talk to you again next Saturday.
Yeah, me too. See you next week. Thank you, Chris,
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
for
you.
letting me in. Bye.
Bye bye, man.
All right. Take care. Yeah.
Episode in Geek Clicks in June. So he's he's mistaken as a co-host in the show.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, a lot of the members or a lot of the watchers are Alan's fans.
Yeah.
um, cool. But anyway, we're gonna go more into our into our discussion. It
Yes.
was a good break. But
Yes.
what do you call this? Perry is a granddaddy when it comes to lighting. They have this old guy
Uh,
joke. I mean the
mm-hmm,
admins do. So
mm-hmm.
anyway, Jem asks, speaking of being busy, how do you balance life with toy photography? Before and after pandemic, perhaps.
Um, it's all about time management and things, and like you have to like really set ground rules like in your house and things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, I mean, my wife and I we've been together over 10 years and stuff like that, and like
Mm-hmm.
we okay, and like number one is like the house is the priority. Okay, so you always have to keep
Mm-hmm.
the house the priority and things.
Mm-hmm.
The our school is a priority and things, and then after that,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. Then you know I can do whatever I want. So as long as I keep the two priorities in check and they're always first, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. Then you know what I mean. I can you know what I mean. So then any little free time I have, hey sweetie, I want to do this for a little bit, and she's like, yeah, sure, go ahead, you know what I mean? But like I do set aside time. Like there are days where like, okay, this is family day and I'm not doing anything else other than just family day.
Mm-hmm.
So I leave the camera alone. Like on Friday nights I don't take shots because
Mm-hmm.
like well used to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm sorry, not Friday nights, Saturday nights I don't shoot
Saturday.
because
And that's why we
yeah,
have this episode now, right? In
yeah,
at
well,
11 a.m.
exactly, yeah. So that's the thing. So like, Saturday nights I don't shoot. It's because on Sunday's my longest day. Like I do, story time and moving classes with the kids and stuff, right? Now tomorrow is going to be different. I mean, I'm going to be doing 3 online story time classes in a row, but I have 30 minutes in between. You know what I mean? So it's not vigorous or anything. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So then after that, I mean, I can do whatever my heart content, you know what I mean? So, like I
Nice.
take care of her first. Hey, do you want to do something? Let's do this. Or and then like, oh, she wants to lie down. Okay, I'm going to go do this. You know what I mean? So you just
Mm-hmm.
have to be in constant contact and just, you know what I mean? And consider
Mm-hmm.
your partner first. So like, for those of you guys that are married right there, there's a rule that I learned a long time ago. Happy wife, happy life. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So a lot of our members are, well, since a lot of our members are also married, and have
Mm.
girlfriends as well. So you guys know what's going on or what's gonna
Oh
happen
yeah.
if you don't take care of
Oh
your loved
yeah.
one. See those
Totally,
figures?
totally. See those figures,
um,
they can go in a blink of an eye.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Um, Carlo mentioned Hulkamania or Hollywood Hogan.
both. I mean, when it comes to Hulk Hogan, I mean, like the when I think of Hulk Hogan, it's the '80s Hulk Hogan that's
Mm,
in my mind. You know what I mean? So like, whenever I think of Hulk Hogan, it's that Hulk Hogan, the WrestleMania 6 Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? So
mm,
I mean, I love Hollywood Hogan. You know what I mean? But my favorite version of Hulk Hogan is the '80s Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 6 Hulk Hogan. That's my favorite version of Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Yeah,
cool. All right.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yes, great advice from Alan. He mentioned. And
Hmm.
by the way, for those who don't know, Alan was the one who introduced me and GeekClicks to Harold. So thank you, Alan. And also
Thank you,
he
Alan. Yes.
introduced. Yep, he introduced us, or he introduced me to Akira Joe and also Patrick Ong, who's also going to be joining us on June. So they both are going to be
Mm,
with us on June. So three
Titan
fourths
Masters.
already of the Titan Masters are going to be covered and
Yes,
be by GeekClicks. I'm really happy about this one, and
that's good, man.
the
Good for
the
you.
members are very can relate to happy wife and happy life. Um, very much. There's a question that I kind of missed earlier, but I'll get back to
Hmm.
that. Jordan asked, I know the price
Okay.
sometimes doesn't matter when it comes to collecting, but what is the most expensive Godzilla in your collection? And we're going to talk about the Holy Grail as well, aside from this one.
Okay. All right. So prices, I mean, really, I mean, it really depends on what your budget is and things. You know what I mean? So
Uh huh.
like, there are limits to what I'm willing to spend and what I'm not willing to spend.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So but like, my most expensive Godzilla is this guy right here. This guy was 18,000 NT. He's like nearly like $500, almost $600. You know what I mean?
Oof.
This is the most I've ever spent on a
Hmm.
Godzilla collectible. You know what I mean? And there's more expensive ones out there. You know what I mean? That I
Uh,
would love to have. You know what I mean? But I mean, I could afford it,
mhm,
but I would have to like not collect anything else and just save up and things and then just go for
mhm,
that. But I don't have my space has become very limited here in my house for
mm,
bigger collectibles and like to have it at my school is kind of like uh I kind of want it with me, you know, to for me to
mhm,
see it, you know what I mean, every time I walk into my room and stuff, you know what I mean? So
uh-huh.
um so yeah, I mean, like there's this Omega Beast Godzilla that's made here in Taiwan. It's way bigger than this guy here. I mean, I
Mhm,
really want that one. I mean, the blue version, and I'm like, I want that one again because I can afford it and things. You know what I mean? But like once like goes overseas and stuff like that, like the price is gonna just skyrocket. You know what I mean? So thankfully for me, I mean, I'm lucky that I'm here. I can get that at an affordable price. You know what I mean? But like again, I can't collect every big Godzilla because I
mhm.
just don't have this. I mean, my I'm running out of space basically. Yeah,
Nice. So is that the
yeah.
holy grail in your collection?
This is one of them. The other one is the gigantic Godzilla 89, which is this Godzilla, but the same height as this one. You know what I mean? So, because
Mhm.
these two Godzillas, they're my two all-time favorite Godzillas. So, the American, the legendary Godzilla, and the Japanese Toho Godzilla, my two favorite Godzillas. Yeah,
Nice. There you go. So,
yeah.
uh, next question. What is your favorite gear to shoot?
Favorite.
Or what's their favorite lens or favorite camera to shoot your figures with?
Oh, okay. All right. So, right now I have I upgraded my camera from the Nikon D90 to a Nikon D7100, which is about a year old now, and I have a 50 millimeter lens,
Mhm,
prime lens, Nikon lens, and lately I purchased these macro tubes to zero
mhm,
in more on the figure. Like
mm,
my newest shot that I did, if you look on my Instagram, it's this one of Mecha Godzilla.
mhm.
Um, I used the macro tube for that to just to getting closer on the figure. So yeah, that one. You know what I mean? So I could have gone closer, but I like I like the distance of the macro tube that I used for this. So yeah.
Nice.
So that's the gear that I'm using, at least in terms of camera.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, when it comes to shooting Titans or Godzilla in this example,
Hmm.
what are the things that
Hmm.
you're very particular about? Like in a shot, I have to have smoke. I mean, at least in my case, that's what I do.
Hmm.
It's vape. But in your case, what are the things that like your workflow? When it comes to an idea, where you did mention about getting a Pinterest or getting ideas from Pinterest. But what I'm
Sure.
talking about is you generate an idea and then
Hmm.
going into the workflow. What are
Hmm.
the things that that you're keen about? If there's like a ritual, I'm not sure if you do that, but if there's something that you do prior to the shoot or how you arrange things, and when do you say it's already a good shot, right?
Okay. So basically, I mean, again, like I, you know, whether I develop an idea from Pinterest or in my head, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
I spend a lot of time with the figure. I study the angles, and then like you got to know your figure. You know what I mean? So like I
Mm,
try and fiddle around with the articulation as much as I can. You know what I mean? So like I go beyond that sometimes too. Like you can pop off the head, and you can like because you know in the movies like Godzilla, he has like full head rotation. You know what I mean? But like
mhm,
as a figure, because it's an inorganic thing, it doesn't have that rotation. So like I kind of have to cheat the shot sometimes. So like I pull off things, and I use 3M gum to make it look, you know what I mean, to
mhm,
get the pose that I'm looking for and things, right? So after I get the posing done right and things, and then I set it down, and then that's when I set up my camera. I set up
Mm-hmm.
the distance that I want, and then the angle that I want, and things. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, I work on foreground, midground, and background. So like
Mm-hmm.
the an important element that needs to that for me
Mm-hmm.
that's important in Godzilla or kaiju toy photographies is depth. You know what I mean? Because like when you if you look at a Godzilla movie, you know, like they have like there's an object, yeah, kind of like that exactly. You know what I mean? So like you have the foreground, midground. You know your figure will be in the midground, and then you have a background. You know what I mean? Now I made those neon buildings. I'm going to be making a tutorial on how to make that very easy. You know what I mean? But like I would have liked to have more of a depth. You know what I mean? To add more
Mm-hmm.
buildings, but I didn't have it at the time. You know what I mean? So that's why I was you know I opted for just just putting the buildings like that, just to cover up, like the dead background. You know what I mean? So I think this
Mm-hmm.
is good. This was good enough. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, you want that kind of depth in your photo,
Definitely.
and then once I have that, then I start working on the lighting, and the lighting's my favorite part. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So like the thing is, with Godzilla figures, like a lot of people forget Godzilla. If you look at this figure, he is a dark colored figure. Like all these Godzilla figures are dark colored figures. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So like when you're doing if you're gonna have Godzilla like in a dark setting, you
Mm-hmm.
need to figure out a way how to make Godzilla pop. So Chris, if you can
Mm-hmm.
go back to that photo.
Sure.
Okay, now you see here, like I use the light to light up the dorsal fins, but I don't like when I was looking at that, I don't feel it was enough. You know what I mean? Like even though it's probably more accurate to the film, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you're looking at a film and you're comparing it, you know what I mean? Like what works in a film doesn't necessarily work in a static shot in toy photography. So that's why. And so like you have to be more creative. You have to like decide what's the best way to present the photo. So then that's why I took a light and I put it right underneath to give them that glow. You know what I mean? Because like when people are looking at watching a movie, or like when you're watching anything, like for example, like Godzilla movies, like Godzilla's walking through a city. So clearly he's gonna be stepping on shit. You know what I mean? He's gonna be stepping
Mm-hmm.
on people. He's gonna be stepping on cars. He's gonna be causing destruction, fires, and stuff like that, right? So there's a fire. So that gives the impression that yes, there's something happening below. There's like a fire below him and things. You know what I mean? And then like that's where that comes from. You know what I mean? Because every time where he goes, destruction follows, and then there's always like this fire underneath him. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That's so I use that to just to highlight the figure just a tiny bit more.
Okay.
So
Nice.
that's what I did. So you have to figure out ways in making your figure pop, because and you use warm colors. I mean, blue is a cold color,
Mm-hmm.
but orange is a warm color. So like if you have like that contrast, like if you if you pay attention to the color wheel, like the complementing colors, I try to follow that rule a lot. You know what I mean, with complementing colors. So like the complementing color to blue is orange. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I had orange color here, blue color here. So that's what I try to do. So even though
Nice.
like the movie presents something, you as a toy photographer, you have to do the job to try and make that figure be the
Mm-hmm.
center of your photo, because a lot of people like they put like a ton of buildings in and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But your figure gets lost. Again, your buildings is not the center of your shot. The center of your shot always has to be the figure. So it has to always have to be the highest point of contrast. It's gotta, like when you're, as soon as you look at a shot, your eyes immediately have to go to that point right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, well, that's already great advice. So, remember
Hmm.
to make sure that the figure pops. And I like what you mentioned about sometimes it doesn't translate what you see in a video or in a movie, that it doesn't
Yes.
translate well in a real life or in a static figure, in a static photo. I
Exactly.
feel that most of the time, really. So,
Hmm.
for me, I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to this as well. So for
Hmm.
me, that's something that's very helpful, that it doesn't transpire as much, but at least you can have these effects on what's going on, like what you showed us about popping out the fire popping out. That for me
Hmm.
is gold right there, because
Yeah.
yeah, of course that would happen. And that makes
Yes.
sense. I am
Yeah.
just geeking
Totally.
out with the tips that you've been pouring out right now. And
Thank
we're
you. Thank you.
yeah, and we're not even into the tips portion yet. But thank you.
Hmm.
D7100, yeah, awesome. Says Perry
Yeah.
Chua.
Cool.
I'm sure that he used this before.
Hmm.
Alan Parma, let me just go back into the comment about the happy wife, happy life. That's why I only ignore the kid, never the wife. Such a I don't know what to make of this comment, but it kind of makes sense. Because yeah. Anyway, but going back to your shots, right? I mean, it's mostly Godzilla a bit. I've
Hmm.
seen your shots, about 90% is Godzilla, 95 if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken.
Hmm.
Now, when it comes to the shots, when do
Hmm.
you this is something I didn't see really. There aren't as much repetitive shots, but how do you figure out if you've shot that before? Or how do you break the monotony? Like it's like it's kind of similar to the question that was thrown earlier, but um
Hmm.
I didn't see much. Actually, I didn't see any repetitive photos. So
Hmm.
for me, that would become a challenge to break
Hmm.
the pattern, or to come up with
Yes.
another angle of looking at it. So I'm not sure how
Yes.
you do it, but can you tell us more about how do you
Okay.
conceptualize a shot to make it not look like the previous ones?
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge compliment for me. Thank you. I've received that compliment that, like, whenever I've been interviewed before by other groups, and that's a question that always comes up. How do you make your shots look different all the time with just Godzilla? And again, like what I alluded to before, I mean, there's 60 plus years worth of Godzilla history and stuff, but also too, if you notice, I have different scales of Godzilla. So I don't just stick to SH Monster
Ah,
Arts, you know what I mean? I go up in scale, you know what I mean? So like sometimes, like if you go on my Instagram,
sure.
there's a shot of the 89 Godzilla with the guys looking through the window. Um, that one, right? Oh, no, no, no. Keep going up, further up, up. There. I think it's there.
Uh, is it this one?
No, no, no. Go further up. I don't know.
I,
It's
yeah, I
with the
think
guys.
I've seen that. Yeah, I think I've seen that
Yeah, it's
somewhere.
further down. It's further down. It's
Hmm.
down.
Yep. I'll
I
keep
did a
on scrolling.
BTS.
I think it's this one.
There it is. There it is. That's the one. Okay. So like watching Godzilla films, they always present Godzilla in different angles and stuff like that, and different
Hmm.
perspectives and things, right? So I've always like whenever I always like those perspectives, those window perspectives. You know what I mean? Like when people are looking out the window and they see Godzilla, you know. And that's the great thing about having different scales of Godzilla figures. You know what I mean? Because like
Hmm.
this shot right here is a little bit more difficult to pull off with a figure like this one here, the SH Monster Arts one, because you know these are 6-inch scale figures. You know what I mean? So in order for me to pull off something like this, I need very tiny, tiny, like 1 to 144 scale humans
Hmm.
and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And they're difficult to get. and I mean you need to, you know what I mean. So it's just difficult. Like if you some of the detail gets lost in it. I mean, clearly
Hmm.
you can see the idea, but the detail gets lost. But if you go up in scale and you use force perspective and things, I mean, you've actually seen a shot like this in Godzilla movies. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's the one. So that's why I shoot different I shoot different scales of Godzilla, because different scales of Godzilla demand different angles. It demands different perspectives and stuff. You know what I mean? So like if I
Nice.
have a big Godzilla like this one, I can't shoot like in my house. I can't shoot that figure like entire full body. Like I would have to be very far back, and I
Yep.
just don't have that room. You know what I mean? In my house.
Ah.
So the way I would do it, okay, so like what would it be like? So you think of yourself, like if you're in
Yep.
your home, you're standing in a building and you look at a Godzilla and you all of a sudden you see this giant thing come out. What would that
Mm.
be like? So I try to imagine myself in that situation, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna be
Mm.
doing a shot like that with this guy soon, like a
Hmm.
human perspective, and they just see this giant head roaring, and then you see, you know what I mean? So like you'll see it, you'll know what I mean. But
Yeah.
that's
We'll look
that's
forward
how
to
I
that.
yeah, so that's how I do it. I mean, like with
Mm.
Marvel figures, like I understand people like, oh, how do I break that, you know what I mean? But the thing is, like with you know what I mean, like if you don't, it's kind of tough, you know what I mean, because you
True.
need to have like different scales, like for variety and stuff like
Okay.
that, right? But like if you just have straight you know, 6-inch scale
Months.
figures,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of you know what I mean. So like it
Yeah.
can get repetitive and stuff like that. So you have to like
True.
play with the angles and stuff like that. There are times where like, okay, like let me do a shot, like an aerial shot where there's a plane flying over and you see Godzilla below. I've done shots like
Mm.
that, or then
Yeah.
above, you know what I mean? So you got to do that. But like when you have big scale figures, then you can get more intimate. I mean, this is a very
Cool.
intimate shot, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and also too, like with those intimate shots, I like there's this one I did of Godzilla splashing through the waves.
Hmm.
Did you see that shot? I
Yes,
mean,
actually. Yep.
that's what this guy right here, you know what I mean? So like that's the beautiful thing about having different scales of Godzilla, you know what I mean? Because you can pull off shots easier. Like if I try to do that with this guy, because he's so small, his head is so small, it's so much more difficult, you know what I mean? And like
Okay. I see.
there aren't really um props and accessories
Hmm.
out there made for these guys, you know what I mean? So I can get around that more if I have a smaller
Mm.
tank or airplane or whatever with a big guy like this, you know what I mean? So I can get away with it
Nice.
more.
Yeah.
It's kind of tougher with the smaller scale figures.
And
Yeah.
I feel that I'm gonna show one more shot that's a bit similar,
Okay.
but I feel it's and very very different. I mean, they have the same window shot,
Mm-hmm.
or almost the same window
Mm-hmm.
shot, but it feels very different. The composition is the actual feel of the shot is so. I'm really at awe and how this becomes very different. Even though it's technically the same, it's technically a window shot again, but it feels
Yes.
very very different from
Mm-hmm.
this to this one. So the
Yes.
feel is different. I mean, I know that
Mm-hmm.
this feels 1980 Godzilla, the 80s
Yes.
Godzilla, right? Um,
Mm-hmm. The
now
90s. That was the 90s actually.
that
Yeah.
was the 90s. Okay, yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. So that's the 89 Godzilla. Sorry. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, well, I think that was the 8X plus Godzilla, right? The one that's in front of
Yes.
you right now.
So I have this is the gigantic series Godzilla. So this is like a 20 something centimeter tall Godzilla. So it's almost like a foot tall. You know what I mean?
Wow,
Like yeah, like 12 more than 12 inches. You know what I mean?
more than 12
And
inches.
there's also the 30 centimeter line, which is like yeah, the 30 centimeter line, which is smaller. You know what I mean? So I like shooting those Godzillas too. I have them upstairs. I didn't bring them downstairs. I should have brought it. But yeah, I mean the thing though with these X Plus figures,
Mhm.
because they're in a static pose, you really have to get creative with and you really
Ah,
have to try and figure out how to best shoot that figure. You know what I mean? Because like For a
Mm.
long time I stayed away from X plus. You know what I mean? It's because there's no articulation. You
Mm-hmm.
can't pose them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But they just look
Mm.
beautiful. You know what I mean?
They do.
Until I
Yeah.
got my very first X plus figure. The first X plus figure was the 30 centimeter Kong, 2017 Kong. And then
Mm.
when I have it upstairs. I should have bought it. Shit. And then like, you know what I mean? So there's only so many things you can do with that figure. You know what I mean? So shooting it dead on, shooting it from a side, shooting it from an angle and stuff like that. I've taken a few shots with that Kong. You know what I mean? So then it's like,
Mm.
okay, so I've kind of gotten used to like how to best take a shot with an X plus figure. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
it requires like extra creativity, so
Creativity.
because they're
Static.
static
Yeah.
figures, it
Yeah.
requires extra creativity. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are shots. I could relate because I mean I shoot Pokemon which are static, and I could
Hmm.
relate because there are shots that they're perfect in, right, and there are shots
Yes.
that they're not, right.
Yeah.
Um, Now, Jay has a question about I think this shot. This is just a random girl, right? But he is
That's
asking
Lois
if this
Lane. That's
is
Yeah,
it.
that's the Lois Lane. It's Lois Lane. Yeah, it's the
It
it's
is.
the animated series Lois Lane. Like again, like I don't have like a lot of female characters. I
Ah,
need to get more female figures. You know what I mean? Because I want a more
mm.
variety of female figures. So yeah, so that's my only stand-in right now.
Cool.
Yeah,
So it is Lois Lane. Now,
it is Lois
before we
Lane. Yeah.
end, let's just answer Jem's question, which actually I was about to get into as well. Do you
Hmm.
still do a lot of trial and error whenever you try to make a scene, make
All the
your
time.
scene,
Yeah.
yeah? Or do you go through the process like take 10 shots and then bam, you have the shot that you want? Or do you sometimes veer away from the initial concept and then get a better shot in the middle of the shoot process?
Hmm.
Does that happen?
Yeah. It's happened. You know what I mean? So like you know what I mean? So like whenever I do like when I approach a shot, like at first I think of it like see that Mecha Godzilla shot. I originally had intended for Mecha Godzilla to be like this. You know what I mean,
Mm,
with his two hands like this. But
okay.
then like looking at it in my hand and then looking it through the lens, it kind of had a different effect. It had a different feel. So I was like, okay, let me put his hand down and just have one hand look like if he's just reaching into the camera, he's about to grab you. You know what I mean? So like yeah, I go through that trial and error all the time. You know what I mean? And then like I try
Mm,
different, and then like the other two photos is just me experimenting how, what effect works best. You know what I mean? So I ended up liking all three, but the first one is the one that I like the most. This one I like the second, and the other one is the next one, is yeah, that one right there. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? It's just me experimenting, you know what I mean? Because I really don't know.
mm,
Sometimes I'm like, oh, which is the better one, you know what I mean? So like sometimes I ask
mm.
my wife, hey, what do you think of this one? What do you think of that one? You know what I mean? So yeah.
Cool.
So again, like I go through a ton of shots sometimes. I was like, you know what, this isn't working. So I switch it around, or I try a different Godzilla. It happens all the time. Yeah.
Nice. Well, and it's empowering to feel that even the people that we look up to feel or also go through that same process of well taking a better shot in the middle of a shot or doing a trial and error. Well, it's
Mm.
glad to hear that at least something good comes out of that at
Yeah.
least that path that you take along. Well,
Hmm.
that's something that also is sometimes very frustrating, as someone
Yes.
that has an idea, and then it doesn't turn out, and but at least in the middle of that there's a better idea that comes along with it. And I'm glad that it
Exactly. Yeah.
happens to other people, especially like you, the people that we look up to.
Oh, thank you.
One last
Yeah, you
question.
just have to be willing to
Yeah,
be I'm sorry.
sure.
You
Yep.
just have to be willing to be adaptive, you know what I mean? You
Adaptive.
just have to be
There you go.
adaptive, you know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like there has been shots that I look through it, this is just not happening. I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? And then like I forced to like change it up and then go, okay, there you go. You know what I mean? So like
Nice.
it's tough. Like the toughest figure for me to shoot is the SH Monster Arts King Ghidorah, because that thing is just so big and wide, and like the wings
Mm.
are just, they're so awkward. Like you can't do anything like that. I Every time like I do a shot with that figure, it's like, oh god, I'm gonna have to manage you again. You know what I mean? Because it's such a pain in the ass. Because like he doesn't work right. You know what I mean? He's got no
Mm.
articulation in his wings and stuff like that, and he's so top heavy and stuff like that. So I gotta constantly need extra stuff to hold him up and stuff like that.
Ah.
I mean, it's a beautiful figure to look up on the shelf, but
Mm.
like to do toy photography, he's a nightmare. You know? So even like with these guys here, like
Yeah.
I did the shot with the extreme sets. There's a shot that I
Extreme
did
set.
recently with the gigantic series of Godzilla '89. Like clearly, I need more space to get the shot that I want. I don't have enough
Mm.
space in my room for that shot,
Mm.
so I had no choice but this is good enough. You know what I mean? So I leave it at that. But like if you look at it, like you can see like the light, the way it's reflecting on
Ah.
the on the dial, like you can clearly see it's a paper craft thing and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I need something better than that. You know what I mean? Because that just takes away from the photo. You know what I mean? So, but
I
that's
see.
that's something that's not in my, like, unfortunately right now I just
Mm.
have no control over. You know what I mean? Like light is gonna
Mm.
do whatever it wants to do. You know what I mean? So like even though like I want that light there, but the effect that it has on that dial is not what I want. Like if I had an actual dial piece that, like that's got the detection or everything, it would work better.
Ah.
But I just don't at the time.
Ah.
So at this time, so
I see.
yeah.
Well, but at least thank you for sharing that. It's really very very empowering to hear these from you. At
Mhm.
least the frustration is shared, if I may say, that
Well,
there are
yeah, like
still
I
frustration.
go through
Yeah.
those frustrations too.
Uh,
Like sometimes when I was doing recently I did that Kong versus Godzilla shot, that Kong figure. I mean, it's a
uh,
nice figure, but I was ready to just crush that Kong figure in my hand because like he had stability issues. I'm like, oh come on, stand, you know what I mean? But yeah, this guy right here. So
I
yeah,
see.
he's got stability issues. So I gotta have to figure out how to fix that. So yeah.
Right. And speaking of Godzilla, or well, the figures in the perfect ones, in
Hmm.
Godzilla scales. Wow, no pun.
Yes.
But what is a good version or model of Godzilla that's around 112 scale or so, for you that you've shot or at least in your collection?
Uh, I out of my SH Monster Arts figures, like the two most figures that I shoot is this guy here and this guy. Now, unfortunately, this guy, he's very stiff. I mean, he's got electronics in his body that prevents any kind of like movement, but like really like the suit is like that, you know what I mean, in
Mm-hmm.
real life anyways. But like, as a toy photographer with having these,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have to figure out the best way to work around the shortcomings of a figure and just play on their strengths. What's the strength of
Mm.
a figure like this? It's size. Because out of all the SH Monster Arts, this one is the biggest. So that's its strength. It's the size of this figure that I play around with. You know what I mean? So like if I want to do a like
Mm.
Godzilla versus Evangelion, Godzilla versus Pacific Rim, I'm actually using this guy a lot more because he's just bigger. You know what I mean? So like
Mm.
when it comes to those figures, I want Godzilla to be the imposing one. You know what I mean? I don't want an Evangelion to look bigger than Godzilla. It just doesn't look right, and I have issues with that, especially Pacific Rim. You know what I mean? So like with Pacific Rim, oh crap. I'll do that later. With Pacific Rim robots, like they should be smaller. You know what I mean? So Godzilla is the king of the monsters. So he's powerful. He has to look powerful. You have to make
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla look powerful, and that's
Ah.
a key thing too. Like when I do Godzilla toy photography, one of the key things to remember is that I want to capture the spirit of Godzilla. You want to capture the spirit of your character, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's the thing. Like I want to capture the spirit of Godzilla. He has to look powerful, he has to look big, he has to look menacing. If he doesn't, then it just falls flat in my opinion, you know what I mean? So that's why
Ah,
whenever I do Pacific Rim, I opted for bigger Godzillas, even though they might not be in scale, but like looking at through the camera, the lens, it looks good. It looks great. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. So
nice. I love it.
yeah.
That for me is gold, at least for the people who wants to take, who wants to start taking Godzilla photos. That's already a good
Hmm.
tip. Make Godzilla look powerful because he is.
Yes. Yes.
um, yeah. And speaking of
Yes. Godzilla
powerful,
is a god, so he has to look like a god. Yeah.
definitely. And speaking of
Yeah.
power, let's talk about these three other powerful gentlemen that makes the Titan Masters. Um,
Hmm.
so anyway, you guys have more of a show, more of and what you call your group the Titan Masters. Can you tell us more how
Yeah.
this brought about? How was the Titan Masters formed?
Okay. Well, basically, I mean, for a long time now, like like a lot of people like have been following my thing, and then, oh, can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? Like, you know what? Like at first, I really didn't pay attention. I really didn't care, to be honest. You know
Mm.
what I mean? But then I had a change of heart. Like, you know what? People want to learn more. You know what I mean? So that, and I'm a teacher, so sure, I'll teach them. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to do it alone. You know what I mean? So like,
Mm.
I feel like there's many different flavors of different styles and stuff like that, right? So I started talking to Patrick and Akira Joe,
Mm.
and because in my eyes they're the best at what they do, so I only want to work with the best at this. So hey guys, let's do this and let's help the community and stuff like that, and they were on board right from the get-go. And then Isaiah Kaiju Poo, I mean,
Mm.
he's very new to the game, you know what I mean? So he started out, like and he's one of the few new artists that have improved very quickly, very exponentially in things, you know what I mean? And like he's very eager, he's been wanting to, you know what I mean? So then you know so I go, hey kid, do you want to join us? And he's like, yes, yes, yes. So it's like, okay, good, you know what I mean? And I think he's earned the spot, you know what I mean? So like he's bringing something new to the table too, so that's the thing.
Nice.
So we're all bringing something to the table. So that's the thing.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I have posted the on the comment section the Titan Masters. They have special episodes, and one of them is gonna feature Alan Parma as well, right? Is it
Yes.
gonna
Next
be this
week.
week? Next week, yeah.
Next
So
Saturday. Next Saturday
next
at 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
So watch out.
Yeah.
The link is on the comment section. Instagram.com/Titan_Masters. And
Mhm.
thank you, Harold, for sharing your tips. Sharing a lot. Actually, we've learned a lot of things in the past more than an hour of us talking. But can you give us, well, just to wrap things up, we can you give us tips for beginners when it comes to kaiju photography or kaiju toy photography?
Okay. So now, number one, don't feel constrained that you have to have a DSLR camera. If you have a cell phone, like an iPhone or whatever, that's more than enough. Okay. Um, you don't need to break the bank. You don't need overly expensive stuff. If you look at the stuff that I have, like in terms of lights, they're very inexpensive things. Okay. Just slowly build your repertoire and things. And don't be afraid to experiment either. Try different angles, try different things, try um different lengths and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And just the only thing I like, every time, like when people ask me, oh, how do I do this, you know what, just grind, just keep grinding, and something will click, something will come, you know what I mean? Like, I share my stuff, you know what I mean? I share my methods and stuff like that, but ultimately I don't want people to copy verbatim everything I do. I want people
Mhm.
to develop their own style. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I have my own style, I mean, I want to keep it unique to me, you know what I mean? So like eventually, like when I started doing this, you know what I mean? Like I looked at a lot of other people, like I looked at John Ruffins and stuff like that, and eventually
Mhm.
um that's how my style came to be, you know what I mean? So I draw a lot of inspiration from comic books, the lighting
Mm.
of comic books, even art and stuff like that and things, and then you just go from there. So just keep grinding, you know what I mean? Like there's no there's no mistakes, honestly, in reality, you know what I mean? It's just like you can only learn better, you can
Mhm.
only learn more, and you have to be willing to learn and listen, you know what I mean? Because there are people that they ask me for tips and I tell them, and they just say, oh no, but I wanted this mood, and so they don't listen to me. So I was like, okay, don't waste my time then, you know what I mean? So you just got have to be willing to listen, and just and then push yourself, and don't be afraid to experiment, you know what I mean? So like I do a lot of shots even now that I just want to see how it looks and stuff like that. Who cares how many clicks, likes I get and stuff like that? You know what, there's a lot of people that ask me, oh, I want to build an Instagram as big as yours. I was like, listen, I'm not my focus isn't bigging a big Instagram. My focus is doing the best work that I can, doing the best. You know what I mean? That's my focus there. Like if you're gonna be so worried about how big, how many clicks you get and stuff like that, you take the fun out of it for yourself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So you're not doing it because you love this. You know what I mean? So why are you doing this? You know what I mean? I do this is because I love Godzilla. You know what I mean? So like, and my love for Godzilla comes through in those photos. That's why I do it. You know what I mean? I don't do it for popularity or for clicks. I do it for me, and I do it because I love this character. You know what I mean? So that's the number one thing. I don't. Everything else is icing on the cake. You know what I mean? So just focus on you as an artist. You know what I mean? And never mind anything else. Everything else will just fall into place over time.
Wow, that's a, if I may say, that's a shitload of very gold comments. So no mistakes, only things to learn, ladies and gentlemen. There
Yes.
are no
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, and push yourself. Don't be afraid to experiment. For me,
Yeah.
that's my biggest takeaway from
Yeah.
everything that you mentioned, as well as the other ones. I'm gonna review this over and over again. I know that this episode is something that I will get back to. Chester was
Hmm.
late, one of our friends, but feel free to rewatch it. Hashtag GeekClicks replay. I'm sure you're gonna get a lot from here. And yeah, great tips. Thank you so much, Harold, for spending your time,
Thank
your
you.
Saturday morning
Thank
with
you.
us. It's been a pleasure talking to one fourth of the Titan Masters. And again, the comment in the comment section we have the Figure Mania show and also the Titan Masters Instagram accounts in there. Next week, next Saturday, Alan Parma is going to be joining the or sorry, the Titan Masters show Saturday morning next week. And
Yes.
tomorrow, just a reminder. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of lost. There you go. Tomorrow night, Gabo is gonna join us. Tomorrow night, there you go. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. we have giveaways again. And thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a great pleasure sharing this morning with our viewers. My English is now running out. I'm just kidding. It's a common joke for Filipinos. But thank you,
Thank you,
Harold,
brother.
from our friends for the advice. As much as we want to keep you, I know that you have a long day ahead of you, and it's family day,
Hmm.
right? So
Yes. Yeah.
again, see you guys next week. Keep on shooting, keep on collecting. This is Chris Lina along with the Figure Mania show right here. Yeah,
Thank you very
here.
much. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you,
Thank
and
you
see you
so
guys
much.
next week. Thank you.
Alrighty.